Alrighty, folks. How you guys doing? It's me, Mongo, your friend from SoCal. Now, if at any point you see the video quality of this dip, just let me know. I would really appreciate that. Also, if you could let me know about the audio quality here, that would also be very much appreciated. So, let me just get into it here. So, spoilers for The Boys, seasons 1 and 2. Don't be fooled. This is a fun stream, just a fun stream. Let me put up this banner here. Yeah, yeah. Oh boy. So, um, it's been a nice day. It's been a very nice Sunday for me. Hopefully, it's been a very nice Sunday for you guys. Let's just kind of talk about a few little things here. So, I was just here at 1-800 Mongo Street, and I was just minding my own business. And so I decided, oh, let me go on to the Twitter. Let me just take a look at some of the things on Twitter. And so I was greeted by this. So, this is a, a really fun account here. This is Dallas the Chief, also is also Godzilla. Let me put that on full screen. So Dallas the Chief is also Godzilla, aka at Dallas and Medbag. I've been following him for probably maybe a month or two. I think I might have made a recommendation about a Godzilla figure, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but so I read this. He posted this here. It's like, all right, Godzilla versus Homelander and Stormfront. Who's winning? Let's just kind of run through the competitors here. So we got Godzilla, the big G himself, big honking chonky boy, a honky chonky boy right here. And I love this picture. I love this iteration of Godzilla. If you're just now tuning in, spoilers for The Boys, seasons 1 and 2. If you haven't seen the show, then, you feel free to, click off because this is just a little fun stream. Fun little stream here. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. There's the pinned comment. And so basically, we got Godzilla. Then we have Stormfront. So this is where we start getting into spoilers here. Stormfront, she's a character in The Boys. She's a superhero, aka she's a soup, one of the soups. She is, of course, very powerful in her own situation. She's strong. She's up there as one of the stronger characters in The Boys, the TV show. And then we also have Homelander, the poster boy, so to speak, of this show. He's kind of one of those characters who is supposed to be your Superman stand in, so to speak. He's your Superman in this show. Oh, and we got Bone, Mr. Bone. Hey, Bone, real quick. How is the audio sounding? Because I was re-listening to the last stream. It turns out I had the microphone set to my webcam, which isn't a bad microphone, but I also have a secondary mic that I usually use. If you got any feedback on that, let me know. I'd really appreciate it. So we're talking about Homelander and Stormfront versus Godzilla, the big G himself. This guy is a monster. Whoa, big face here. There we go. That's better. So this is something that when I saw it, I had a lot of fun thinking about this, honestly. I had a lot of fun. Let me throw out the little the little image I made for the thumbnail of this. Here we go. It's a little overlay. Look at that. Godzilla versus Homelander, a fun what if scenario. And that's kind of hopefully that's the title of this stream too. I think that's what I got there in the title section. Seems okay. Alrighty. Whew. Okay. Alrighty. So I made this little image. It was really quick to do on Canva just because I have all of these a lot of these images saved already. That's just Godzilla from Godzilla 2000, and I just found a little picture of a Funko Pop on online of Homelander, and I just put that in there. But this was really fun. This was really fun to do. So let me just give you the 411, the basic 411 on what I thought of this situation. So here in the comments here, I posted GMK Godzilla obliterates both of them. I'm not convinced that either of these two have an attack that would really damage him. GMK Goji is also pretty damn smart too. So I think Goji sweeps. And Dallas, he agrees. He's like 100%. He took down Baragon easily and curb stomped both Mothra and Ghidorah at the same time. And even when Ghidorah got revived and got even stronger because of Mothra, still got his teeth kicked in. So basically, I'm mostly just basing this off of Godzilla, Mothra, Kingidora, All Out Monsters Attack. That's the movie that this iteration of Godzilla or this Godzilla design is used in. Really nice movie. It's made by the director of the Heisei Gamera movies, and it's very nice. It's very good. Very good movie. I totally recommend that. And hey, we got the Time Prophet. Time Prophet. I loved your comment. This is just a fun little stream I'm doing. But look at that. We got Bone, we got Cat Bone, and Dog Bone. Mr. Bone. Glad to have Mr. Bone in the chat, of course. And basically, I think I don't really got to go through too much here. I think it really stands for itself. As I just said, GMK Godzilla. That's what I'm going to call this guy. I'm going to refer to him as GMK Goji or Godzilla, just because this iteration, this design of Godzilla came out in the movie Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, All Out Monsters Attack. Big name, big title. So most people just call it GMK. But if you're familiar with the movie, GMK Godzilla is basically steamrolling through every monster that he fought against in that movie. So he fought against 3 monsters. So we got Baragon, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. 3 monsters that really are outside of the scope of the typical Japanese military to take on. And of course, we have Godzilla here, who in this iteration is the original 1954 Godzilla brought back to life by the spirits and souls of the dead who were killed by who were killed in World War II. It's a little, so this is like a ghostly kind of Godzilla. He's not really a ghost, but has been revived. He's been brought to life by those souls. Stop motion rules over CGI with Godzilla. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's interesting with the original 1954 Gojira, they had a desire to make that a fully stop motion monster, but due to the time constraints, if they had an estimation, of course, because at the time there was no really amazing stop motion animator in Japan. Obviously, they were inspired by the works of Willis O'Brien and Ray Harryhausen, but they didn't have the money or the time to hire them. It was estimated, of course, that doing a stop motion Godzilla, at least for them in Japan, would have taken nearly 7 years to do, and they really didn't have that kind of time. So they went and created a kind of, they went with a creature suit, and in turn, they went and helped kind of create and blossom the concept of suitimation in terms of giant monsters and giant creatures. It ain't a Godzilla movie if you can't see the hand moving. Godzilla, lol. Oh man, I gotta tell you though, this is a really great Twitter account. Dallas at Dallas and Medbag. He's very funny, and he's a Godzilla fan. Basically, he agrees with me. Something that I have to, or something that you got to remember is Stormfront and Homelander. These are the two that Godzilla is fighting in this scenario. He's fighting these two. We kind of zoom in a bit here. Yeah, that's a lot better actually. Excuse me. I am. Oh, pardon me. I'm also on camera too, so it's probably not the best look for me. But anyhow, so you have Stormfront, you have Homelander. Stormfront, both can fly. Both of them have some super strength to a level that can easily crush the bones of humans. They can break open uh, cars. They can break through brick walls. They can do a lot of pretty strong, powerful stuff. They're easily, I'm going to get nerdy here on you guys. There's kind of a whole community of power ranking, so to speak. So, in the power ranking kind of philosophy, you have your street level people who would include like Daredevil. Um, you have like peak humans who are, of course, Captain America. Then you have these kind of guys who are above street level and peak human capabilities. They're supers. They have a lot of strength. So they're not quite super destructive, so to speak, in a grand scale. They're not city level threats, but they're definitely destructive. They can definitely do a lot of damage to anybody. And of course, I'm a very big noob. I'm not a huge power scaler, power ranker, but basically, based off of what I've seen from The Boys seasons 1 and 2, I'm not convinced that either of these two are going to be able to do enough damage to GMK Godzilla. Just to give you a bit of an idea of what they would need to do. So let's talk about some of the monsters that GMK Godzilla fights. I'm going to turn off my camera now just so that I don't look like a Picasso painting. Okay, so just so you know, there's going to be spoilers here, just like the little banners saying at the bottom here. So if you don't want any spoilers, then, well, you've been warned. You've been warned, Time Prophet. I don't really go into the whole plot details, but there's going to be a few things here and there that may be considered spoilers. So let's take a look at one of the monsters that Godzilla fought in GMK, Baragon. Now, Baragon is probably one of the smallest monsters in that movie that Godzilla fights. Let's take a look at this Baragon. Let's go with the Millennium era. Of course, let's take a look here. Millennium era. Baragon. I hear The Boys has gone woke in season 2. Well, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but basically, you have this lady in the picture here, Stormfront. Well, if you look up the name, well, actually, I'm just going to say she's racist. She's racist. She also has she's a two-faced kind of person. So, yeah. Okay, good. Okay, so Stormfront, she comes in, she enters The Boys in season 2. And she's kooky, she's evil. Like most of the superheroes in that show. Let's kind of take a look at Baragon. Okay. I'm going to go on to Wikizilla. Now, this is a Wikipedia that I trust. This is moderated by a lot of different people who are fans and passionate about Godzilla. Of course, this, don't interpret this as the word of God, so to speak, but there's a lot of good info that you can get from here. So let me share the screen for this. Just to kind of get an image of Baragon. Not Barugon. That's a different monster. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, okay, let me do this. Share the tab. Baragon, Wikizilla. There we go. We have a nice little picture here. Let's actually let me open that picture. Actually, okay, I can do a little better. Let me just get an image of Baragon. Baragon versus Godzilla. GMK. You know, it's always nice to have some visuals here and there. And all right, let's see here. Let's find a good image here. Yes, this is a great image. I love this image. And I think hopefully you guys get a bit of a kick out of this one. So let's see here. Let's remove that from the stream, and then let me just share Baragon. So yes, Mothra, we'll get to her in a moment. First, we'll go with Baragon just to kind of get an idea, because Baragon is basically the weakest monster in this movie here. So there we have an image of Baragon getting kicked in the groin by Godzilla. So, okay, here you have an idea of the size difference here. Godzilla is gigantic. Baragon is maybe 2/3 of his height. Let's just take a look at some of the stats on Baragon. So in the Millennium Era, or in this movie specifically, Baragon is approximately 30 meters tall. He also weighs 10,000 metric tons. And he has a width of 24.5 meters. So this guy, he may be small compared to Godzilla, but he's still a freaking giant monster. So let's kind of, I have to Google this because of my reptile brain cannot process the metric system. So 30 meters to feet. All right. So he's about 98 feet tall. So he's roughly 100 feet tall, Baragon. Unfortunately, against Godzilla, who is 50 meters tall in this movie, and it has a weight advantage as well as a gigantic death beam. Oh, that's a good point. There's this says metric tons, but let me see here. Let me see. What's metric 20? Let's see. 10,000 metric tons. Metric tons. What is metric tons? Metric tons. 2 tons. Okay, yeah. So there is a difference here. There's metric tons. So 10,000 metric tons would equate to 11,023 US tons. Yeah, that's something that's really good. I'm glad you brought that up because it's not, it's still a difference of 1,000 tons there, in terms of the US, but I guess my lizard brain is fine with that. That doesn't tell, it gives me a decent idea. Baragon. So, okay. Basically, Baragon, big, scary, digging monster. He's tricksy. But against Godzilla, he basically stands no chance. He gets kicked in the nuts, literally, here. He gives Godzilla a few bites during their fight in this movie, and then he gets killed. And it's a sequence that lasts less than 5 minutes. And it kind of gives you an idea of Godzilla's power level, so to speak. And of course, when you look at the boys, in both seasons, they never really come up against any kind of threat. There's no giant monsters in the boys. So there's not really a good way to gauge that, so to speak. Oh, yes. Fandom Collective, thank you so much. You shared this link out to this video, and the thumbnail looks gorgeous. I really had a fun time making the thumbnail. I'm going to put that on the screen right now. I just threw this together really quickly. And yeah, I love this. I love this, the thought of this discussion so much. I was like, oh, let me make a little thumbnail for that. And yeah, we can have some fun. But okay, so we got Baragon. Baragon, he's the weakest monster in this, so to speak. He does the worst. He has the worst performance. Let's move on to Mothra. So let me find an image here of Mothra in GMK. By the way, how you guys doing? Time Prophet, how you doing? Let's see. Godzilla could just step on the boys and the girls. I have to be honest, he is made of plastic. I think he's only a few pounds at most. Oh man, it's recently I was just watching a little thing. The first Godzilla suit they made back in before 1954. They were making a suit for the Godzilla movie 1954, and the first suit they made, they loved it, but when they, put a suit actor in it, the guy could hardly move. He could hardly walk because the suit that they made was let me see. It was over. Okay, wait. Let me see here. They said the suit weight, and let me see. I think it was. Let me check here. So the first suit that they made was 200 kilograms. The first Godzilla suit ever made. So it was over 440 pounds. So that the suit actor couldn't even move in it. And of course, that never made it into the actual movie. They had to scrap that costume. And what they ended up doing was they chopped it in half and they kept the legs of the suit so that you could have some shots of Godzilla's feet moving around, some small shots. So eventually of course, they had to make a new suit. They had to adjust it. And gosh, that was really can't understate how much experimentation they had to go through with the first Godzilla movie. But can you imagine just a 200 kilogram suit? And this wasn't made of latex. They made this out of canvas and all that kind of stuff. Apparently, even with the newer suit that they made, the revised suit, pretty much any part of your body that was touching the canvas of the suit, the inner lining of the suit, you would get terrible blisters in it. And the suit actors could only move around for a few minutes of a time. Yeah, like that is so incredibly heavy. Like you gotta, goodness, oh, like what a hellhole that must have been. Oh my goodness. That is nuts. Bu- bu- bu. But anyhow, as I'm looking up things, okay, so eventually they were able to cut that suit, the weight of the suit in half. They cut it down to 100 kilos, so about 220 pounds. That's the suit that was actually in the movie that they used. So, like, that's still pretty nuts. Like, holy cow. Just insane. Haruo Nakajima, the suit actor of Godzilla 1954, stated that with all that weight, he could hardly move. That's just amazing. Did they do any stop motion for Godzilla, or was it a guy in a suit? It was a guy in a suit. Although, if you go into Godzilla versus King Kong, 1962, there is one scene where you have Godzilla jump up from the ground and kick King Kong, and that is done with a bit of stop motion. I'm not quite sure. I don't think they use an actual armature, an actual stop motion puppet, but it's a very noticeable scene. But anyhow. Oh goodness, I gotta find a good image of Mothra from GMK. Well, this will pretty much lead to Mothra and Kingidora because there's not too much to really talk about here. Okay, here's a decent image. We'll get to see some more giant monster carnage. So we'll take that image off. And let's see here. Share screen, Chrome tab, JPEG. Here we go. There she blows. There is Godzilla biting the neck of Kingidora. That's that gold dragony one. And Mothra is in the background. So let's look up some details on Mothra. We'll get to Ghidorah eventually, but since he's probably the most powerful of the monsters that Godzilla fights in GMK, see Mothra. Masuraya. Mothra. Mothra. So the Millennium Era, GMK. We'll skip the larval form since the larval form of Mothra doesn't even fight Godzilla. So in its adult form, Mothra is only about 24 meters long, but it has a wingspan of 75 meters. So you could definitely say it's smaller than Baragon, not quite as gigantic, and it definitely doesn't weigh the same. But Mothra is a creature who is surprisingly quick. I know that the that the show, it doesn't really look like it's a very fast monster when it's in the movies, but oh yeah, Mothra looked scarier last time I saw him. Yeah. Oh, totally. I'd love to. If I knew more about Power Rangers, I would love to talk about that. Orange Hat Reviews, he does this really cool series called he does a versus series where he talks about, it's kind of like a discussion panel where they talk about two different combatants fighting against each other. I'll have to suggest that, and I'll see if he likes that. Godzilla versus the Power Rangers, probably just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Because Power Rangers, they got the Megazord, they got the Dragon Zord. Those can combine together. You have the white, like the Tiger Zord. They had like a bunch of crap in Power Rangers that combined together, but that was the charm of it. So Mothra is a surprisingly fast kaiju. In the Godzilla series, you have monsters that are able to break the speed of sound, such as Rodan, and also including Mothra. So Mothra is an incredibly fast monster. Well, of course, compared to, well, Godzilla, it's a very quick monster. It's able to fly. It has several abilities here and there, such as beam attacks. It can shoot lasers that I would say would be very similar or comparable, if not greater than, the lasers used by Homelander and the lasers used by, or the electricity used by Stormfront. And really, I don't even think Stormfront is going to be a huge issue for Godzilla in this fight, but that's we'll get to that later on. Do you know Power Rangers came about because they couldn't get the rights to Spider-Man in Japan? Whoa, that is so cool. Power Rangers versus Teletubbies would be a fairer fight. Teletubbies would bore them to death. Hey, if you get the sun, doesn't the baby sun, Hey, if baby son gets enraged, maybe he can nuke them. Just kamikaze itself into the Megazord. I'd love that. I'd like to see that in either a comic or a cartoon. That'd be pretty nuts. Either that or the Power Rangers slice the baby son in half. I don't know. With the oh gosh, the Megazord sword, whatever that thing was called. That'd be freaking dope. Essentially, Mothra fights against Godzilla. It doesn't really do too much against him. It shoots some lasers. It does some little stingers it shoots at him. Really, it has no real lasting effect on Godzilla. It hurts him, but it doesn't put him down. Let's say that. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? Kind of just browsing through here and there. The Stinger Blast. All right. Already talked about that. It's fairly quick. It's not going to be as quick as Stormfront and Homelander, but I think it's quick enough to justify that, hey, Godzilla has a chance to hit these people, hit these superheroes if they're flying around him. Which really, it's going to be a matter of time because Homelander and Stormfront, they're not going to try and punch Godzilla in the nose because that ain't even going to do nothing. It's gonna be like punching a brick wall, supersized, and it's not gonna be a really viable way to deal with him. So that kind of covers Mothra, Mothra's contributions. Basically, she gets sidelined pretty quickly during her fight with Godzilla, and she kind of just lays around while Ghidorah here is getting killed and murdered by Godzilla. So let's talk about Kingidora. Let me type that into the thing. We'll keep the image up just because that is, it's pretty much going to be what we want there. So unfortunately, this version of Kingidora is not the super monster that he has been in other movies of the franchise. In fact, this is probably one of the weaker variants of Kingidora. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. So in this movie here, King Ghidorah is approximately 50 meters tall. So he's of a comparable height with Godzilla. He's a little stringier just because he's got three necks instead of a big honking head. We got a bird and bird. That's not a bird. That's a moth. It's a butterfly. Butterfly and a dinosaur. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. Earlier today, I saw this nutso picture of Mothra biting Godzilla in like the neck, and I'll have to show that later because it was pretty hardcore. It was a drawing, but I was like, damn, Dora the Explorer, swiper no swiping. I don't know. I wouldn't mess with that monkey. Monkey could probably bite off someone's fingers. You always gotta be careful around them monkeys. And hey, we got AFK Bard. AFK Bard, we's talking about Godzilla. We're talking about Godzilla versus Homelander. Because I don't think Stormfront's really gonna do anything to Godzilla. I don't think she's gonna be able to do anything meaningful. And I don't think Homelander can do very much either compared to, well, these giant monsters here. Now, I'm just focusing mostly on GMK Godzilla since that's the Godzilla that was in the picture there. Because if you go by a composite Godzilla, so basically what I mean there is if you take every Godzilla from the entire franchise over the course of the last 60 years and you put all their abilities into one iteration of Godzilla, you're going to get a god-killing weapon of planetary destruction, so to speak. So we're just going to keep it simple here. We're going to keep it simple. Storefront. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think Dallas he misspelled. It should be Stormfront, but probably autocorrect made it into storefront. It's gonna have to be a really big store to take on Godzilla. Actually, it's gonna have to be like a transforming store to fight Godzilla. Godzilla is gonna wreck house. Yes, yes. That'd be pretty dope. You get like the Transformers, the Constructicons, how they combine into Devastator. That would be a pretty cool fight. Devastator fighting against Godzilla. I think Godzilla would win, but it'd be cool. It'd be pretty neat. They totally got to do like a comic series of Godzilla with Transformers. Can we get a god level Godzilla with all its powers? Oh my goodness. Yeah. It'd be freaking dope. I know that IDW, they have a couple pretty great Godzilla comics. One of them, of course, is Godzilla in Hell. And essentially he does a lot of crazy stuff in that one. There's Godzilla Rage Across Time, also some other nutso stuff there. But back to the image here, we have Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah. This version of King Ghidorah is 50 meters tall. Let's see here. He has a wingspan of 93 meters. So this is nerdy Ghidorah in GMK. This is not super mega awesome Ghidorah, but he still puts up a bit of a fight. I am sure I seen a movie of where it had a laser strapped to his back, but perhaps I imagined it. Kingidora. Mothra is coming in hot. Bank left. Yeah. I mean, hey, if she bites Godzilla's neck, then hey, I think that would have worked out pretty decent. So essentially, this King Ghidorah, at least initially, when he appears in the movie, he's very wimpy because in the context of this movie, he's a guardian spirit of Japan, and he can grow into the nine-headed eternal dragon called Orochi, the 1,000-year-old dragon, Orochi. Unfortunately, just because, hey, we've got to have Ghidorah and we got to have it be recognizable, they had him come out with 3 heads and having him look pretty similar to his usual design. Would have been nuts to have a 9-headed Ghidorah fighting Godzilla. That would have been nutso. Yeah, that's that thing. Yeah. That's the thing. Mothra ain't got no teeth. But she has character. She has the drive to go all the way in this battle of titans. Oh gosh, totally. That would have been so awesome. But essentially, this first form of Ghidorah, he doesn't have any real gravity beams. He doesn't have his electrical lasers. All he's able to really do is bite Godzilla and give him a bit of a shock through his teeth, through Ghidorah's teeth, which is a pretty wimpy kind of move. It's pretty wimpy. It doesn't really do much. You can kind of see how it's going for Ghidorah right now. He's kind of dying right now in this picture. And essentially he gets kind of curb stomped WWE style by Godzilla. For those unfamiliar with WWE, that is World Wrestling Entertainment. And basically, it was pretty unimpressive. Eventually, though, thanks to Mothra sacrificing herself, she's able to power up King Ghidorah to the point where he can actually fly and use his wings and even fire off some gravity beams. So basically, King Ghidorah, he kind of gets, he kind of goes Super Saiyan, but I'm not going to say Super Saiyan because he gives Godzilla a few shots with his blasts, and Godzilla eventually just kills him. Godzilla takes him down into the water, and he basically mauls King Ghidorah. And you know, it's not a great thing. It's not a great look for Ghidorah. Eventually, the spirits of Kingidora, Mothra, and Baragon come together, and they kind of just do some mystic mumbo jumbo onto Godzilla, where the human characters are able to fire a special, like, explosive drilling missile into Godzilla's open wound that destroys him from the inside. And it's kind of convoluted, but hey, it works. It worked. It kills Godzilla, but and of course there's this huge scene where at the end of the credits, just before credits, it's Godzilla's heart at the bottom of Tokyo Harbor or wherever, Japan. And then it just starts beating like boom, 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 boom. And essentially that's to signify, hey, Godzilla, he has super regeneration too. That's part of his whole thing. But let's get back to the whole Godzilla versus the superheroes here. I'm going to turn my camera back on. Don't be too frightened, folks, if I look like this. Hopefully the image quality is decent. I know I've been worrying about that a lot today. A lot. But hopefully the image quality is of a decent standard. Hopefully it doesn't look like I have a bunch of like Vaseline smeared onto my camera or anything. Maybe that's a good trick. Maybe I do that tomorrow when I guest on someone's stream. So like, oh, technical difficulties, can't do it or whatever. Anyhow, no, I wouldn't do that. But anyhow, let's get back to this post here. I'm going to share the screen. The quality is okay, but my internet speed is dragging tonight. Okay. Well, I do have a tab open. I don't know if that affects anything, but yeah. Eek, it's Mongo, yes. The hideous beast. The beast from the Black Lagoon. Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was my nickname back in high school. No, let's go into this thing here. So here's the original post from good guy here, Dallas the Chief. And yeah, so you already saw my response. I say GMK Goji either kills him. I think he obliterates both of them. If you've seen The Boys season 2, you know that Stormfront is not nearly as strong or as durable as you would be led to believe. She gets lasered to death. Of course, folks, I still got that tag down at the bottom. Spoilers for The Boys season 1 and 2. Spoilers for The Boys season 2 specifically here. She gets lasered. She does not have laser immunity. So Godzilla, with his laser breath that is able to destroy monsters that weigh in the 10,000s of metric tons, he's able to vaporize them. I think he can easily vaporize both of these characters here. I think that if he's able to get a shot off on either of these two, that they are going down. They're going to die. Well, okay. Well, I'd have to check. But taking a look at the current state of things, it looks like Joe Biden, he has over like 280 votes and stuff like that. Joe Biden's in the lead, and I think there's going to be some recounts. There's some stuff here and there. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not really the political. I don't bring politics into my stuff, at least on my channel, at least. But Joyce Gauss, you still haven't told me how to say that, pronounce that, Gauss. He did win, apparently, yes. Lots of love for you here in the chat. Godzilla would totally vaporize these two. He'd totally vaporize them. So we're going to take a look at some quote tweets here. This is a nice one from sorry, I'm so excited right now. I'm getting tongue-tied. But Pandoru Spider Kaiju Cool name. I've never followed him before. I think it was on your screen. Oh, maybe actually. Oh, yes, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. I didn't see that there. Gauze pad. Joyce Gauze. Joyce Gauze. Buy the gauze. I haven't watched The Boys, but I'm here for the action. Well, I gotta say, there's been a lot of me geeking out here. There's been a lot of geekiness here. Over 40 minutes of geekiness. Just say it with an S. Goss. 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 Law? Yeah. Joyce Goss. Joyce Goss. Pleasure to meet you, Joyce Goss. Hopefully the camera quality actually looks decent enough to, entrance and titillate you anyhow. Pandoru Spider Kaiju says Godzilla killed the Greek gods by himself and has survived black holes. Godzilla will own him. And then I say I have an obvious bias in this matchup, but based on season 2 of The Boys, I don't think either of the soups can take down GMK Godzilla. Let's take a look at your guys' responses down below. So I make this little tweet. I definitely got some nice likes. AFK Bard herself says Big Green has this in the bag, as evident by all the Godzilla love going around in the replies. You have some smart, tasteful friends. You got that right, AFK. You got that right. Time Prophet himself, he states Godzilla every time. Even Godzuki could beat those pretend superheroes, lol. Godzuki, that is a great reference. If you're unfamiliar, Hanna-Barbera, she made a Hanna-Barbera. I assume it's a woman, but I've never seen her. Hanna-Barbera, they made a cartoon, the Godzilla Power Hour with Godzuki. Godzuki was a little tiny Godzilla that could fly. And he could even breathe fire, too, on occasion. But that AFK Bard sounds like a swell lad. Well, she's a bit of a babe. Well, you already know that. Spartan Flash Sentry says Godzilla would eat them like peanuts and not even notice. Yeti Cast, good guy. You're gonna see more of this guy soon on this channel. Yeti Cast says, I give it to Godzilla, but if I was either of them, either of these superheroes, I'd try to get inside of Godzilla and then roast the guy. They just need to avoid the teeth. Of course, Godzilla probably blasts them if they try that maneuver. Extremely risky. Extremely risky. Let's see. I think Hanna-Barbera is a male. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense there. The more you know. Let's see. Dallas the Chief, he says Superman would have a better chance, but Homelander and Stormfront, yeah, nah. And I agreed with him. I said definitely. Even Man of Steel Superman was really impressive in his movie when he took down that giant planet terraforming machine. That's a way better feat than anything Homelander has done in The Boys. And Dallas says Homelander would crap himself. Lol. He has never faced anything close to his power level. Something like GMK Godzilla will have to make him actually work hard for the first time ever. That's some really good stuff there, because there's going to be a big psychological thing. Stormfront might be able to stay somewhat decently, psychologically speaking, but Homelander, he's going to be very surprised. He's going to be overwhelmed. He's not going to be at his A game, I think. I think he's going to be very intimidated by the prospect of fighting this giant laser-breathing lizard. And Orange Hat Reviews, another awesome Godzilla fan. He says, Big G all the way. One atomic breath to these two, and it is over. Exactly. Like I was saying earlier, Godzilla, especially GMK Godzilla, he was vaporizing monsters that were tens of thousands of tons in weight. So these are massive beasts, and he just vaporizes them. And, even Homelander, with all of his strength and bullet immunity, is going to feel that, to say the very least. He's going to get vaporized, like we've been saying. And then, of course, I get my little nerd glasses here, and I say, exactly. Godzilla has had a career of taking down city level and even planet level threats. As my inner nerd emerges, folks, that was my nerd voice. My nerd voice. I tried to go for a gosh, that one guy from Family Matters. Oh my goodness, Steve Urkel. Tried to go for a Steve Urkel there. Did I do that? But well, maybe it's a hit and a miss. What does Godzilla eat? So largely, Godzilla feeds off of radiation. Feeds off of radiation, and that's basically what keeps him going. Godzilla, I think it was 1995, Godzilla versus Destroyer. Essentially, in that continuity, Godzilla was essentially a nuclear reactor, so to speak. He was a self-sustaining source of power and energy, which eventually led to him melting down and leading into the events of that movie. Homelander could take on a T-Rex, but a T-Rex ain't no Godzilla. That right there. AFK, if you don't know. Folks, if you don't know, AFK is amazing. She knows so much, and she is a fan of giant monsters too. She's always good in my book. Godzilla feeds off radiation. Does that essentially mean he microwaves all his meals? Maybe. Although there was one iteration of Godzilla that was known to eat fish. How many fish, you might ask? Well, the answer may surprise you.
That's a lot of fish.
He eats a lot of fish. That's Roland Emmerich's 1998 Godzilla. But anyhow, we got Jeremy 5, Russia approved in the chat. Don't worry, folks. I'm a little jazzed up. It's not drink or drug induced. I'm just nerding out. I'm nerding out. And it feels great. And look at that. I got that ninja dude from Naruto and him with his little anime glasses. And yeah, so then we get a little more. Orange Hat Reviews says, didn't he take a meteor to the face and not flinch? People keep thinking that Godzilla is a pushover. He isn't. That is very true. Godzilla Final Wars. Giant meteor that was predicted to destroy the Earth is barreling down towards Godzilla. What does he do? He takes a nice football stance on the ground and he blasts that son of a gun out of the air. And he's basically standing in a giant crater, impact crater. So, yeah, he's pretty nuts in a lot of movies. And Dallas agrees. Final Wars, as much as he loves Homelander, no way he's beating Godzilla. Zilla, though, is easy pickings. Now, if you're not familiar with that, well, Zilla refers to Roland Emmerich's Godzilla. That's the Godzilla that was killed by the military, just with regular missiles and all that kind of stuff. I've been meaning. I gotta find that little picture. The picture. Don't worry, folks. I'm not going crazy. At least not yet. Hopefully I look decent. I mean, hopefully you can see my face with this shenanigans going on. Earlier today, there was this wonderful picture that I retweeted because I was so surprised by it. Actually, let me just go to my profile here. Excuse me, I am burping. Ah, yes, this picture. Folks, what you're about to see may be frightening to some viewers. Might be frightening to you. Folks, we all kind of make fun of Mothra. But really, we should be afraid of Mothra. Because this moth has mandibles and it has potential to kill. Like this image here. Look at that image. It's so, ooh. I was so surprised by this. And the translation just says pain. So I'm assuming someone drew this. And I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Godzilla right here. He's getting like a big chunk of his shoulder bitten by Mothra. He's got blood coming out of his mouth. Like this really, like I'm glad I never saw this as a child because then I would really hate Mothra. I would hate Mothra so much. Thankfully, Mothra never does this in a movie. At least a Mothra. Tiny baby larva Mothra has bitten Godzilla's tail, but it's more of a funny thing. Yeah, AFK really loved this thing. Like it's so like, oh, so brutal. Like the translation says in the tweet, pain. This just screams pain to me. Just having a big get you right in the shoulder here. Just right like, ugh. Gonna have to build Godzilla in 3D one day. And when that day comes, Time Prophet, it will be a glorious day. It will be a glorious day. May not be today, but someday. Oh gosh, I'm really just having so much fun here, guys. So much fun here. Really want to thank you guys for all of the just coming in. It's just amazing. It's amazing. So I mean, we're pretty much done. Basically, I think if you've caught any of this, actually just looking at the tweet itself, you're gonna know, hey, Homelander may be cool and Stormfront may be pretty decent, but Godzilla is the king of this scenario, the king of the monsters. I have done a monster head you might like. Oh, totally awesome, man. You can totally like tag me on Twitter, or if you want to keep it like more like under wraps, you can always DM me or whatever. But I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. I'm such a huge I'm so interested in seeing the stuff that you do, like with the 3D and all that kind of stuff. It's really interesting to me, at least. Anyone remember Mazinger Z? I never watched that. Unfortunately. AFK, we were having a great conversation about Godzilla versus the Power Rangers, and then the Power Rangers versus the Teletubbies. Personally, I think that the baby son in the Teletubbies could, if it got angry, it could like charge the Power Rangers and basically nuke them in a infant kamikaze, so to speak. That's my thoughts on that. But we got a lot of fish here. And you know what that means, folks. When you got a lot of fish, it means you got a lot of fish.
That's a lot of fish.
That's a lot of fish. It's a lot of fish. Thank you. Moth versus dinosaur. Nuke them. Yeah. Like you don't mess with the sun. I mean, obviously, I'm going to give it some credit here. It's just a baby son, so he's not going to know how to really control himself. But I think if he throws a temper tantrum, he has the potential to destroy the whole world of the Teletubbies. And that's no good. That's no good, folks. I think that the Power Rangers are boned because that one Teletubby has the power of parallel universes like Scarlet Witch. I gotta brush up on my Teletubbies lore. Gotta brush up on my lore of the Teletubbies. He changes channels with his belly? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to do my research. Gonna have to do my research and get to your level, AFK. This has been so fun, guys. So fun. I've been talking and gabbing and rambling for over an hour now, and it's been great. So I'm going to start to wind it down. We're going to start to wind it down. Take some deep breaths and relax, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah. Great stream, Mongo. Thank you. I really, really want to say thank you. Thank you. It's always a blast. I'm really looking forward to an upcoming stream here. So next week on, let's see, November 15th, it's going to be a very special little stream. It's going to be movie nights with Mongo. Guests welcome. I hope you like that little image there. I love it so much. I made it a thumbnail. And folks, if you're unfamiliar with that, I have a little playlist of about, 4 videos on my channel titled Movie Nights with Mongo. Dude, you need to be in the reading rainbow with your relaxing voice. The other day when you were talking about that, I looked up the reading rainbow intro, and it's a pretty sweet intro. It's a really cool intro too. So let me put up the image. There we go. I love this image here. I love this image so much. Is this a California accent? Well, I would say no. I think it's more of like, I don't really know. A lot of people that I meet initially, they kind of think that I'm from Texas or something. Texas, all that kind of stuff. But I don't really know how I picked up this accent, and I think it really depends on how my mood is. If I'm more relaxed, then I think I kind of get more of that southern kind of drawl or whatever. So I couldn't really tell you. Maybe I need to visit a linguist. I don't think I'll do that because that sounds like it'd cost money, but I don't know. The thumbnail looks like one heck of a good time. I love the lettering. Oh, you guys are so nice. You guys are so nice. Yeah, I love the lettering too. Let me put this image up here so I can wipe away the emotional tears of joy. I was kind of going for something like, some neon lights. I was like, okay, that'd be something neat. And basically the image is just something I took in a picture of on Godzilla Day. So last Tuesday was Godzilla Day. And I just took a picture of this, just me, I playing with toys, watching Godzilla. That's the best way to spend Godzilla Day, in my opinion. You are quite the wordsmith, Mr. Time Prophet. I'm glad I know a bit of words. I'm glad I know some of these smart words. Keep away from the cunning linguist, lol. If you think Southern, hear my accent. Well, Joyce, do you got a YouTube channel? You got a YouTube channel? Because I'd totally check it out. Like, come on. Hook me up, man. I live in South Carolina, for Pete's sake. Do you sound like your parents? Hopefully, just your dad's voice. Well, yeah, don't worry, no worries. My mom has a very womanly voice. You know, she does not sound like me. And my dad, his voice, my dad's voice isn't quite as deep as mine. He's kind of more of a tenor, I guess. He's not really. I'm more of a baritone. Um, let's see. Do Joyce Goss? I live in England. I played chess with someone in South Carolina once. Whoa, that's cool. Geez, you live in England? Wow, I've never been there. Yeah, same here. I've never been to England. England? Hell no. Okay. Well, then I guess it will be a mystery then. since since I have no way of hearing your voice, I guess it's going to be a mystery. I guess I'll just say, "Oh, well, I guess Joyce has a southern accent." I don't know. I don't know. How can I confirm? How can I confirm? You've never been to America? Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't know how it really compares to Britain or England. Sorry, you were talking to me about that the other day, but England, and technically England is within the definition or parameters of Britain. Britain refers to the collection of England, uh, Scotland, Wales. Yeah, so it's kind of a collection. Okay, I'll subscribe. Well, no, yeah, you can subscribe. I love that. Thank you. You can always subscribe, but you can always make a YouTube, or you can make a Twitter, and then through Twitter, you can, make a little video, and we can have some actual confirmation like, hey, this person, Joyce Goss has a Southern accent. Everybody has an accent to somebody else. Just got to ask the right person. Oh, yeah, totally. Totally check out Time Prophet. Okay, now I realize that Joyce was talking to the Time Prophet. She wasn't talking to me. God forbid she subscribe to my channel. Unless she's already subscribed to me, but Ords ask the same thing. Okay, yeah, all right. I'm all jumbled up. I'm jumping into different parts of this conversation here. Get your dad on the next stream. Maybe I'll get a video of him. I probably got a video of him somewhere, but yeah. I did subscribe to your channel. Thank you so much. That is such a nice thing for you to do. And yes,
It is just as I wished.
it is just as I wished. Thank you. Thank you. You're making me feel so happy right now. You're so happy. Happy, happy, happy. Hopefully you can actually see my face. Hopefully I'm so paranoid now about the whole camera quality, because I would hate to be looking foolish on the camera. But anyhow, this is great. Great stuff. Aw. Well, yeah. Yeah. Folks, before I start to close things out, I just want to talk a little bit about this really special guy on Twitter. I met him on Twitter, and I'm friends with him on YouTube. You may know him already, but he is JW Accent. And let me play this little clip. Folks, if you're like me, you enjoy being creative, but some of your creativity may not be up to snuff. So here's what I did. I contacted Jay Accent. If you want something done, if you want something artistic or creative done, I would suggest checking out JW Accent on Twitter. Link in the description down below. There you go, folks. JW Accent. Let me get a link to his Twitter, at least, into the chat. I really got to tell you guys, this guy is amazing. Is it cold in California? Yeah, it is. Actually, today it is. The last couple of days, we've actually had rain and quite a bit of rain, which is actually really good because we just started having a very dry season right now. But yeah, it is actually cold. Granted, my definition of cold is probably different from your definition, but it's down in the 50s. Currently, I think it's 55, 56 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is Fahrenheit. But let me put J accent, J accent, J, JW accent, accent. I got my keyboard right behind my microphone, so I gotta go like that. JW accent. I really can't understate how great and nice of a guy he is. He really helped me out a lot. So you may have seen some really great images there. So let me get this up here. Okay. I'm going to enter this in, but I'm going to go off. I'm going to take my camera off, and you'll see this wonderful piece of King Kong art that he did for me. And this was by commission, of course, but take a look at this King Kong art here. Alrighty, so that's some of Jay's art. He's really good. I love what he did with it. I wish I had it as an overlay. Actually, I can do that right now. I can do that right now. Pictures. Ba, ba, ba. Oh gosh, I gotta go to this other pictures one. There we go. There we go. This is so I commissioned, I contacted Jay Accent through Twitter. Here's his Twitter page right here. He's a really nice guy. He also has a YouTube channel, Jworks Productions. And he's a really great artist. He does a lot of great stuff. Here's the image here of what he did for me. And basically, I contacted him. I said, "Hey, Jay, I'd like to commission you, hire you to do a piece of art for me. I'd like you to, draw a picture of King Kong, specifically from the 1933 movie. It can be in any position. It can be in any scenery. I would like it colored, and I'd like it with a background." And he got back to me really quickly, and he did a really great job. I love how this looks. It is amazing. He is a very creative guy. And, I think if you ever need something like artistic like that, he's a great guy to contact. He's a great guy to contact. Let's see. It is great art. And I feel so full, and not the kind of full like you've eaten. I feel so content, and I really feel happy. I really want to thank you guys for all that you guys do. And in the grand cosmic scheme of things, it might not be this great monumental thing that you've done by just clicking and subscribing and watching this, but I can tell you that it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. How big is that? How big is the the piece of art? Well, the piece of art actually was sent to me digitally, just due to the whole situation of things. He sent it digitally. Jay sent it to me digitally through a DM. He had it done in like a day. He really loves doing this kind of stuff. And he has his rates on his Twitter page. And I don't know, it seemed pretty affordable to me. I mean, it's not a huge amount, but basically, either way, I think you're getting a really good deal there. And yeah, I just want to say thanks. Let me put this image back on the screen because I'm not going to say I put a lot of effort into it because it only took me like 5 minutes to throw this together. But I love this. Oh, dang. That's the background. I love this image. Funko Pop Homelander and the Godzilla. I love this image so much. And well, I really got to say thanks to you guys. Let me just go through the chat and say thanks to each and every one of you. That's a trait that I got from Thomas Gilkey. He's a very nice guy. He's a very gracious guy. So the Time Prophet, thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your comments on Twitter and on here. You've been really great. You've been very funny too. You got Bone. We have Cat Bone here. Cat Bone in the chat. There's Dog Bone, but there's also Cat Bone. You can find him on Twitter. Thank you so much for being here and being in the earlier stream too. That was amazing to have you. Let's see. We had Jeremy 5. Jeremy 5, Russia approved. We also had AFK Bard. AFK Bard, thank you so much again. I'm going to tune into your reading stream later tonight. We have Joyce Goss. Joyce Goss. I think I said that right. Joyce Goss. Joyce Goss. Not Gauze. Not Gauze or Gauss, but Joyce Goss. And there's Jeremy 5 with the little tongue thing. And let's see, who else? I think that's about it. Dogbone is watching another stream. Sorry, Mongo. I have to go to bed soon. No problem. I'm going to be closing this out right now. Folks, thank you so much. Yes, you did, thankfully. I have prevailed this day. The more I know, the more I grow. But, I'm Mongo from Mongo's Big Things. If you like the stream, share it out. That's always a nice thing to do. Helps me out a bit. Thank you so much to everybody here. Bye, Jeremy. I really appreciate you guys. La Reina Creole. La Reina Creole. I got to check that out. And to close us out, here's a little clip. Let me take this off the screen. And let's have a little laugh, I love this clip. But well, let me just play it. I don't really got anything to lead into it, but Homelander and Stormfront, they're pretty strong. But when they go up against Godzilla, they don't really stand a chance. You could say that they're going
Over the line!
Over the line. And with that, folks, I'm going to see you later. And I really appreciate you guys. And bye-bye.